Afternoon, this is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Welcome to my channel. This is a garage video today that we're doing, and we just want to talk primarily about seniors and seniors riding e-bikes. That's what this channel is all about anyway. I focus on seniors, people with disabilities. I don't just focus on younger people that want faster bikes. We're seeing a big problem starting to occur with these manufacturers now making these bikes faster, and that's not what we're looking for as seniors. So I'm primarily directing this video at seniors. But if you're approaching that senior time frame in your life, you might want to watch the video as well. I have noticed a difference between 50 to 60, and I'm 72 now. I have noticed a big difference in my abilities to do things like I used to do at 50 years old. Once you get to be in your 70s, it becomes a little more difficult. I can still get around very well. I can still ride 26-inch e-bikes. I can still get out and ride 50, 75 miles if I want to. But I consider myself in pretty good shape. But I do have bone on both of my knees. And this e-bike riding has completely changed my life as far as my body. I've lost weight. I feel much better when I'm riding. And again, I've built muscles around my knees where I don't have any pain anymore in my knees. That doesn't mean I won't have to have knee replacement sooner or later, and I need it in both knees. But I'm going to avoid that as long as I can riding my e-bikes. But let's talk about choice of e-bikes for seniors. I mean, seniors today are not looking for speed. Some seniors are, I get that, but for the most part, seniors are looking for three factors. They're looking for durability of the bike, they're looking for range on the bike, they're looking for quality components on the bike. Now, those are three things I think the seniors are the most important things that you need to consider when you go purchase an e-bike. And I'm also going to tell you, if you've never ridden an e-bike, there's a learning curve to it a little bit as far as the electronics on it and everything and how the bike feels. I highly recommend that seniors go to a local bike shop to purchase that e-bike. If you've got one local, it'll be well worth your money, even if you have to spend a little more money for the bike. Because if you buy a bike, 98 to 99% of them are built in China, which they are here too. I mean, if they're sent to the bike shops, they're ordering their parts also from China primarily, but they have a better situation with e-bike companies because they're promoting their bikes and they're paying them to sell those bikes and things. So a local bike shop, I think, is a very important thing to consider when you're buying an e-bike. Because you can go in there and you can ride that e-bike, you can see how it feels. Every e-bike feels different. And I've owned probably 18 to 20 of them now, and they're all different. I've got favorites on 26-inch bikes, I've got favorites on 20-inch bikes. But I really think you need to go to a bike shop, test ride that thing for a while, see how it feels. The prices are going to maybe be $100 to $200 more. I don't know. I've been to couple of local bike shops, and I've seen their prices on their e-bikes, and they're not bad. But again, you're going to get local support. You're going to get local support, especially if something goes wrong on that bike. They're going to be able to get the parts much quicker, and they're going to be able to fix your bike. So that's the upside of a local bike shop versus buying a e-bike online. Now, do your research, do your due diligence, look at all the reviews that are out on these bikes. That's very important. There are some things about e-bikes that people don't know. I mean, we just talk about cadence sensors and torque sensors. There is such a big difference between the two. A cadence sensor, primarily, the motor, once you get to a certain speed, the cadence sensor tells the controller to basically tell the motor to you need to get it to a certain speed, and that's where you'll stay, and you'll kind of be almost in ghost pedaling once you get to 13 to 15 mile an hour on a cadence sensor. because those pedals are turning so fast at that speed that you really can't keep up with them. So I am not a real big fan of cadence sensor bikes. I really like torque sensor bikes. I've got a couple of them, actually 3 of them I do believe. And what the difference is on a torque sensor bike is that you have to apply pressure to them pedals to get that motor to turn. So if you're barely turning those pedals, you're not going to put a lot of power into that motor. So if you put a lot more exercise with your legs into them pedals, that motor is going to work more efficiently, and you're going to get a lot more calorie burn, and you're going to get a lot more exercise in your legs and in your core of your body, because that torque sensor, you're having to put a little work into those pedals. Now, I know another couple content creators out there don't like torque sensors. They have knee problems, hip problems, things like that, and I get that. But for the most part, if somebody's healthy, I would recommend a torque sensor bike. You also want to look for good quality lights on that bike, whether it be headlights, tail lights, and you're going to want wired tail lights. There's so many bikes I'm seeing coming out that are not wired. And I think if the price point, a lot of these bikes are coming out, I've seen them $1,300 to $1,900 that don't have a wired tail light. I think it's terrible. So a lot of times you're buying the name of the company and not so much the quality components that really should be on that bike. I'm a big proponent on the derailleur, which you guys know what that is at the bottom of the back wheel that shifts your gears for you. I recommend buying a bike that has a guard that goes over that derailleur, because I've torn up derailleurs not having that guard by the bike going down on me and sliding on that side of the bike, and I had to take the derailleur and have it totally replaced. And with that guard on that derailleur, we're not going to have that problem. So look for that. It's just a little U-clamp that goes over the derailleur. That's to protect that from getting torn up when you're falling on your bike or if your bike goes down on you. Couple other things I just want to mention about safety on these things. Always wear a helmet. I can't tell you how many times I've seen guys riding e-bikes and they're not wearing helmets. That is just craziness. I can tell you a quick story that I was coming down a little hill on my regular 10-speed Trek, not an e-bike, and why I did it, I don't know, but there's a little lip about that big on the bridge, and I'm coming down this hill, and I hit that lip, and I automatically hit my brakes. Big mistake. I went over the top of the bike onto the bridge. This is a wooden bridge now. It's more like a bike path or a walking bridge. And the bike landed, I bet you I went about 8 to 10 feet over that bike on the bridge, and that bike landed right on top of me. But the first thing hit that bridge was my head. And fortunately, I had a helmet on. So in that situation, if I would have not had a helmet on, it could have been bad news for me. Well, I was riding with a guy, and he come down and said, "You okay?" And I said, you want me to call 911? And I said, "No, it really hurt my pride, though. But thank God I have my helmet on." And I broke a mirror on my bike, and I still was able to get it home. So that was a win for me. So I recommend always wearing a helmet. Now, I can put a link of a helmet that I wear on every bike now. I've got one particular favorite. I've owned like 5 or 6 of them, but I have one that I highly recommend. And I'll put down in the description box. It is safety tested at 32 mile an hour, and that's going to cover most e-bikes, unless you're going down a hill, of course. So those are some of the things. You want to get you a good quality helmet that's got lights on them. I've got one that's got a solid white light on the front, and I got different blinkings on the back of that helmet, depending on what I want to put it in. And it's a very good helmet, and it's very important to consider having a quality helmet. Just don't go buy a $29 helmet at a local big box store or Walmart or one of them. It's not going to serve you correctly as far as safety on your noggin, shall I say. But other than that, safety things on a bike, you really want to have reflecting lights on it. You want to have a good headlamp on that bike. And I can tell you, I've also owned 2600 lumens lights that I put on most of my bikes. I can put that link down in the description box. That puts out a ton of light. You have to actually keep it on low, because when a driver's coming towards you, he's hitting his brights on his lights because he thinks that thing is you got brights on that and you don't. But it's a very bright light. You want to get you some good tail lights that, like I said, are wired into the bike, so you can have that when you're night riding. I typically don't do a lot of night rides. I have done them, and I've done some videos on them in the past. But yeah, it's a different experience at nighttime out on the bike trails, especially than it is in the daytime. But other than that, I mean, you want to wear reflective clothing, rather it be a construction smock, the bright green one or orange ones. That's something you really want to consider wearing when you're out on bike rides. A couple other things are highly important to carry, of course, is your cell phone. Because if you go down somewhere and you get hurt, or your battery goes completely dead on you and you need somebody to come pick you up, they're going to know your location with your cell phone. I have a particular app that I use on all my rides. It's called Strava. It can pinpoint you to within 10 feet of where you're at on that app. It's got amazing GPS on it. But I also can text both of my sons and my wife before I even go on a ride. They know where I'm at all times on that bike. A lot of times I'll sit there and talk to people on the trail, and which I'm good at. And my wife will say, "You were zigzagging all over the place on that bike." And I'll just venture into an area that looks interesting, like off-road, and I'll go do that on my bike rides. So I'm doing things that I'm trying to keep the content fresh. I haven't done a lot of garage videos in the past, but I'm going to start doing more of them. Just talking about safety and bikes and things that I'm doing on my channel. I got my grandson helping me on editing now, which has taken a lot of load off me as far as the writing's the fun part of these having a channel on YouTube. It's all the editing that you got to do, and you got to have good quality camera equipment, mics that I have, and I actually forgot to put my mic on today. So let me just kind of show you. I'm going to get my mic out here, and I'm going to put this on, and you tell me how much difference there is on this video with this mic. I got a feeling it's going to be quite a bit. So let me kind of get this out here, and we'll see what it does here. This is called a DJI mic. I really like these a lot. So I'm going to put this on, and it'll actually sync with the camera. I'm going to link it to it now. So yeah, let me know if there's a big difference in the bike. I'm sorry, the volume of the camera since I've got this on. So I'm going to turn this right back on real quick. Trying to get it to link. Okay, now it's linked. I do believe. So anyway, didn't even realize I didn't have that on. Put my camera back up here. But yeah, let me know what kind of garage videos you would like to have me do. We're going to be doing some repair videos on some bikes. I've changed tires. I've changed hydraulic brake systems on them. I've done several things that I have done some videos on. But yeah, let me know if there's some things you would like to see. Some of the things that are important to you. I didn't talk a lot about safety on the road, and that's one thing I do want to talk about on this video is the difference between trail riding and road riding. First of all, let's talk about road riding. It can be very dangerous, first and foremost. When you're riding on the road, you got to remember two things: situational awareness and keep your head on a swivel. You don't know what cars are going to do at any given time you're on a bike. You think they know and you see you, but they don't. A lot of times when I'm crossing an intersection, people that are turning right, coming from the opposite direction, don't see you coming across that crosswalk. Typically here in Ohio, you're supposed to walk your bike across the crosswalk. I do not. I think it's more dangerous to do that than it is to ride the bike across the crosswalk. But I've paying attention to any cars that are turning, or rather they be also turning left with the cars that are coming the directions that you are coming across that crosswalk, that you got to be careful when you're that they ain't turning left in front of you or in your path when you're riding across that intersection as well. Other than that, I mean, you want to try to stay on the bike trails and off roads like neighborhood riding a lot more than you do main riding. Now, if I'm going to go to my grandson's house, which is about 6 or 7 miles away, I'll pretty much stay on the sidewalk the whole way. Here in Ohio, it is legal to ride on the sidewalk. Some states it's not. I know Gary up at E-Bike and Adventures in New Hampshire. I want to give him a shout out. I don't think you can ride on sidewalks in New Hampshire. And so, yeah, we're allowed here in Ohio. Most of the downtown streets now have bike lanes, and some of your major roads going into downtown do have bike lanes now, so that's been helpful. But I don't like to do a whole lot of road riding. I just think it's much safer to be on the bike trail. Now, let's talk about safety on a bike trail. Now, here in Ohio and in most states, 20 mile an hour is your limit on a bike trail. And 750 watt hub motor is your limit on the bike trail here in Ohio. Now, you have class 1, you have class 2, and you have class 3 bikes. The 1, 2, and 3 is put into basically one category. You can go up to 28 mile an hour, but typically that's on the road. That's not on the bike trail. And when you're riding on a bike trail, you got to remember safety of certainly walkers, joggers, little kids, dogs. I mean, at any time, a squirrel could run across in front of you at the wrong time. I've actually run over squirrels before. Didn't hurt them. They just got up and took off, which surprised me. You got to watch for deer crossing the trails. I've seen that several times. But they pretty much get out of your way before they'll get in your path. They know you're coming for sure. But you want to look at kids especially. I don't like using bells and horns. I think they're annoying. I don't like using them. They're on most bikes. Some guys like them. I hate them. I'm just going to announce on your left or on your right, and I'm going to announce it loud enough where they can hear me. Now, if you've got a parent walking with a little kid, and that kid's all over that trail primarily anyway, when you holler on your left, he typically will go left. So he just doesn't understand what that means. So be really careful around kids. Be careful around people with dogs. And here in Ohio, you must have them on a leash. I would say most of the time, but sometimes you'll see dogs running loose, not even on a leash. Or the guy's walking behind him and the dog's running with the leash in front of him. It makes no sense to me. But, you just got to be careful. I've seen pit bulls out there running loose on leashes. And that's exactly why I carry protection with me. I will never want to have to harm somebody's dog. But if that dog jumps me and starts biting me, it's going to be a bad day for that dog. I am a cat lover. I'm a dog lover. But I'm also going to protect myself too. So you got to remember that dogs typically don't like bikes anyway, and they like chasing them. It's like car tires. They like chasing them tires. Not a real smart thing to do, but that's what they like doing. But for all you dog lovers out there and you pit bull lovers, this video is not directed that I hate your dogs, because I don't. I love all animals. But when the dog's running out loose on that trail and there's no owner around, I got a problem with that. So anyway, we're going to wrap this video up. We're about 19, 20 minutes now. And put anything down in the comment section you would like to see on any of these garage videos, things you would like me to talk about. I want to thank you for subscribing to my channels. And my channel, I actually got a garden channel too, in case you guys ever want to know. It's Senior Garden Nation. And I do a lot of videos on there about raising seeds in solo cups and for the garden. And you can jump over there and watch that video. It's on. I got a link to that. So anyway, I want to thank you guys again. Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, any further videos. And I will see you guys on the next video.